Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be Rain versus Ample here on Tau Cross. Alright, so I haven't cast a game on this map for a while, and I haven't cast a game on this map very often, so this is Tau Cross. It is a very, very weird map. Alright, so we have a spawn location down here, and there's a wall. Just a wall, not high ground, not low ground, separating you from the rest of the world. This is your choke to your main. This is your choke to your natural. And third bases include this, which is super, super wide open. This, which is also wide open, but a little bit farther away from your opponent, but no gas. And this is a little bit further away from your base, and so on and so forth. And yeah, this is a four-player map, three-player map. I feel like this is a spawn location, right? But this down here is not a spawn location. Alright, man, so three-player map here on Tau Cross. Very weird stuff. We got a river running through it. I guess that's water. It's probably water running through there. Little baby bit of some green, I don't know, Vespene gas put into block form somewhat. Anyway, pretty good time. Now that we know the basics, let's go ahead and get that Fog of War back on, as it's really important. And I think we're good to go. So let's zoom back on in. Left side of the map, it is the Purple Terran player, Ample, who looks like he retired back around 2013 or so, but did end up taking third place in the Socialist ranking tournament back in 2012. He did end up losing to Mong 1-3, but there's really no shame in that. Mong's a great player. So he's been around for a while, currently streaming on Africa. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it is probably the best Protoss player on planet Earth right now. It is Rain. He's teal, and he is Protoss. Alright, so going to be a TVP action here for you, and every time I cast a TVP, I have all the comments from you guys running through my mind about TVP. And people are like, T is so overpowered compared to Protoss, and then other people argue the counterpoint that no, it's just Flash. Flash is overpowered in TVP. He's really, really great at it. He makes the whole matchup look overpowered and unfair for Protoss in general, but if you watch other TVP matchups, it's not really the case. So we'll see how this works out today. We'll see if this is something that Rain can handle pretty easily, as again, I'd say he's the better player, although if this was played a few years ago, maybe Rain is a bit younger and perhaps not the player that he is today. That is kind of the fun thing about loading up these old replays in the remastered client, is that sometimes the players, you know the name, but they're not who they are in 2019. Right? They're who they were in 2010 or 2012 or even maybe further back than that sometimes. So yeah, Ample is scouting this top right position. That is definitely a spawn location. I was sure it was, but this just confirms that. Unfortunately, does not find the Protoss there. Marine heading out too, worried about potential early Zealot harass, early Dragoon harass, Singularity charge on the way. And we're going to just, it looks like we're going to see this early Singularity charge play with Dragoon harassing the Terran, as is tradition. And a bunker probably tossed up at the front door here too from Ample. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll try to see if that's what happens or not. Just early Singularity charge, like even before his first Dragoon, Rain is doing that stuff. It's kind of incredible. SCV does scout on in, and eventually we'll see what's going on down here in the Protoss side of the map. But Dragoon will see him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Man, it is 6 shots to kill an SCV. That is so many shots. You'd think it'd be fewer than that, considering Dragoons are shooting balls of energy out of the tops of their backs. SCVs are like, nah, man, we can take several of those shots. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so here we go. Bunker done. Marines here. Gonna have to do some repairing while this first factory, this first factory is built. The first machine shop is added to it, and the first siege tank is rolled out. So the first couple minutes of this game are pretty standard, really. No complaints here from anybody involved. And yeah, nobody... Actually, I was going to say the Terran player has expanded, whereas Rain has not, which feels pretty aggressive. He's getting a lot of Dragoons out, but I haven't really seen a Terran player lose to this. It drains resources, right? It drains resources off of them as they have to repair the bunker. They might lose some SCVs that are on the front lines there repairing. But is he actually not bothering? There it is. There's the machine shop. And here's the attack. So, right, with Singularity charge, you can outrange the bunker if there are Marines in there. Really, really frustrating stuff to deal with for Terran, but I feel like Ample has seen this 100 or 200 times and knows how to handle it, no problemo. Additional Dragoons on the way. Already 2 more coming up, 3 more coming up with 2 more in production. Going to be a lot of Dragoons. Machine shop not quite done yet. He's got to research siege. He's got to make a tank. It just takes a while to be able to respond to this. But Ample's doing okay with it. He's repairing through the damage. He's bringing in additional SCVs as necessary. He needs another SCV, though, is the problem. Oh, and that one's in range of getting hit, too. Is he bothering with that? He's not bothering on hitting that SCV, strangely enough. So we have the exact number of SCVs to repair through this exact number of Dragoons firing on that bunker. Meanwhile, desperately researching siege mode, desperately building a tank. Are we building a tank? We're building a tank. All right, so tank's out, but without siege mode against this many Dragoons, it's not going to be a good time. And yeah, I mean, this is just draining resources. It takes minerals. He's going to actually come up here and try to fight with the tank, which it does pretty decent damage here, but not as much as it does when it's in siege mode, without nearly the range that it has in siege mode. So yeah, we have enough repair going on here. None of these SCVs are getting fired on at all. It got a volley off on the tank, which is really nice. Siege mode is, there it is. It's done, and tries to take it down the repair. Oh no, doesn't get the repair. But several Dragoons take shots there. Oh, that was a really good play from Rain, getting in there one volley on the tank to soften it to the other volley to finish it off once it was in siege mode and let this continue. Tank number 2 shows up, gets a shot off, and I don't know, is that enough to chase away this many Dragoons? It looks like it is. Rain does not like what he sees here. He's going to pull back and let the insanity end. Meanwhile, Rain expanded twice behind that, which is pretty fantastic. Takes a second and a third base. Good golly, that's some just aggressive expansion. I'm loving it. And moving into what looks like Reaver play, and it is. Yep, Reaver in production here off that robotics facility. Robotics bay is done. Gonna probably see some Reaver drops, maybe some Zealot drops on top of these tanks too. Generally, the key to winning TVP as a Protoss is keep that tank count low. If you can sacrifice Dragoons to keep that tank count to like 3 or 2 or even just 5 can be nice at certain stages of the game, you're gonna have a better time with it. We've seen this done before. We saw Light do it as Protoss, actually against Flash. He just worked extremely hard at making as many Dragoons and Zealots as he could, just macroing his absolute face-off with so many gateways, and then just pretty much A-moving and focusing down tanks as much as he could until the tank count was reset from like 12 to 5, and just did that over and over again, so there were just huge lines, unbreakable lines of siege tanks everywhere the Dragoons could not engage into. 5 tanks is a lot easier to handle, especially if your macro is on fire, as it was with Lights in that game. Alright, well, 3 bases to 2 bases, pretty good deal. Again, this is something that Light did too, is he expanded a whole bunch, basically bet on the fact that the Terran player wouldn't be able to move out too soon, as it does take a while to ramp up a mech production, as we're seeing here. Vulture's on the way, throwing up that Spider-Mine upgrade too. And SCV in for the Scout. Not going to survive this Scout though, I don't think. Yeah, not even close. Try to get in there and see that. You have to assume there's a natural, but I mean, it'd be nice if he could scout this third base too. He doesn't know that it exists, is the problem. Yeah, I'm surprised Ample's kind of patrolling around his own base as much as he is. I guess he's worried about drops, worried about maybe Zealot drops, like I said earlier. Reaver drops too do kind of get shut down by all this vision that we're seeing. Yeah, this shuttle's taken some shots already. It's got a Reaver and 2 Zealots in it, but it can't really find any place to come on in here and get some stuff done. Man, unloading on top of Spider Mines is just instant death. Flying past this and trying to get in here, there's missile turrets. It's a rough setup here. Ample's defended pretty well against this. And he is starting to move out with his army. So I'm liking this. I'm liking this out of Ample. Is he getting Vulture speed? Nope. He doesn't have Vulture speed. Reaver shot there on one of those tanks, bringing it down to very low health. Dragoons will fight against these Vultures all the livelong day, Spider Mines notwithstanding. Getting some decent hits off there. Several Dragoons are going down, but keeping that tank count low. You'll notice it is down to 2. And possibly down to 1. That's exactly what he needed to do. He sacrificed Dragoons and Zealots and Reavers to keep that tank count low. He pushed him all the way back home. 2 more tanks are here, but they're brand new, right? Continuing to produce tanks, it's going to be a bad time. You'd rather just keep the tanks you have. Another one bites the dust. Expanding up here too. Ample, by the way, very surprisingly. He's able to hang out up there. And yeah, it's 3 base to 2 base. I have to imagine that Rain eventually is going to recognize this is here and knock it down. But no guarantees. No guarantees of that at all. Stargate. Interesting play. What is this? Where is it? Gateway, gateway, gateway. Looking. Where the heck is the Stargate? Oh, it's over here next to the Templar Archives. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Alright, so probably going to get some Storm on in here. I would be interested if he could transition into Carrier soon enough to catch Ample by surprise, right? If you do it fast enough, Protoss opponents will do this. Ample recognizes it's definitely a possibility, not a guarantee. And you don't want to really tech switch into Goliaths if your opponent isn't going into Carriers. But we'll keep an eye on that. We will watch. He's got extra factories in production, but for now it's just Vultures and tanks, which is exactly what you want against what Ample or what Rain is showing at this point. But the interesting thing is we're not seeing Mass Stargate. We're not seeing a fleet beacon here either. Arbitral Tribunal. Okay, so going right for Arbiters then rather than Carriers. So totally fine. At the 10-minute mark, let's get this thing going. Coming on in, so spreading out the Dragoons so the splash damage isn't all that bad. Trying to focus down these tanks. Reaver's getting shots off here too. Bam! One tank goes down. Another tank taking a serious shot there too, and then finished off by Dragoons. Again, you can sacrifice Dragoons here to keep that tank count low, but too many tanks remain back here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. The Dragoon count's not high enough to handle it. A lot of long-distance mining SCVs here, and this base lifts off preemptively to escape the wrath of these Dragoons that are going to come up and kill it if they're given the chance to do so. So that was pretty nice. Pretty nice attack there. Got some SCVs, got some tanks. Shut down the third base of Amples entirely. So far, so good from Rain. He's up 132 to 93 supply. He's expanding at a fourth base in the top right-hand corner now. That's pretty fantastic for him. And working on Arbiters at 11 minutes. That's a pretty fast Arbiter play, and I cannot love it any more than I do. There's really not much anti-air over here to protect this area. There's a turret here and a turret here, but I feel like you can get past that if and you want. And Vulture standing and fighting a little bit. They will do that because they're dumb. That is a problem with Brood War is your units will absolutely fight whatever comes near them, even if it's suicides. You got to watch them very closely. If you hear they're under attack, go to them, pull them away if it's not a good situation for them to be in. It's hard. It's a hard thing to do, but the best players can do it pretty well, as Ample showed there. Third base reestablished, retransferred, remainerned up here. Remember when wow. Takes me back. The first time I heard Maynard transfer is probably 2001, spring 2001. Maybe even fall 2000. But I was playing Brood War with one of my friends. He explained what a Maynard transfer was. And I was just like, wow, that's really smart. You want to saturate your new base, not oversaturate your main. It helps your resources get depleted fairly evenly across time. And it was a great time. I don't know. Living in the dorms, freshman year of college is when I was playing probably the most Brood War. And learning the most about it, too. Honestly. Hey, check out this tank, though. Tank on the high ground. Drop it on in. Vultures fighting against these probes. Zealot right on top of this bike. And he gets picked up and saved. But that's pretty good. I like this position for this tank. He just wrecking these Zealots. Where's the drop? Here comes the shuttle. The shuttle's going to wander in and take care of it. Don't you worry. At least force a lift off, if nothing else. Never mind. He dead. Ooh, some Zealots going down to some Spider Mines there, too. That's some pretty good stuff. Out of Ample. I love this music. My favorite soundtrack is Terran. I say that a lot, but it's the best. It's the most upbeat, the most stuff going on. Protoss gets a little, sedentary sometimes and really slow, and the Zerg one is just almost abstract music sometimes. I'm not sure what's going on in that every once in a while, is what I'm trying to say. But Rain's getting Storm. Rain's getting Arbiters. Ample's going for EMP. He's getting Science Vessels, which makes a lot of sense. Why would you get EMP if you don't have any Science Vessels? Don't ask me. I just work here. Rain's fourth base is fully established, which is beautiful for him. And there we go. So Goliaths are coming in now, but not supplanting the Vultures. I think he recognizes he's probably scanned and seen. All right, so this is definitely just going to be Arbiters rather than Carriers. So we do want some Goliaths to chase the Arbiters away, but we don't need 50 Goliaths to kill those Carriers that really come flying by sooner rather than later. Trying to tack on into this third, but there are a lot of Spider Mines present. There's detection here available. There is your cloak. Missile turret is gone, but still firing. Where's the... Oh, Science Vessel comes cruising in to provide that all so important detection. Rain taking a base on the right side here, too. Or rather, just making sure that Ample can't take it. Is that what that is? That is not him setting up to mine from this base. Oh, he has a Nexus. Never mind. One of those was a Nexus, after all. Engaging up here, pushing Ample back is Rain. Ample is kind of stuck in this corner, man. Every time he's tried to move out, it hasn't gone well for him. He did get that one drop off, which was nice, and protected against it further by the Zealot on the high ground here. Working on Recall. Recall is finally getting researched for Rain. Feels like he started making Arbiters 5 minutes ago, and finally now getting the ability that really makes them worth it. A lot of Vultures trying to cruise on down, but there are so many cannons protecting this space, cannons protecting this space. Ah, tanks are up. A tank drop in the top right-hand corner is actually causing some problems for Rain. Catching a few of these Vultures. If these Vultures come in here, I think they're dead. I think they're sealing their own deaths. They're throwing up spider mines to try to slow down their own deaths here, but actually focusing down the Nexus pretty effectively, focusing down the cannons as they can. This many Vultures can do a lot of stuff against buildings. But as they recognize, they're done. Like, this is it. Once the Dragoons come in, there's no escaping from this. He's trying to delay as much as he can, trying to take down that Nexus. The tanks are firing. The Vultures are firing. The Vultures are dropping spider mines, trying to save it as well as they can. A lot of the Zealots are going down here, too. Dragoons continuing to push up from the south. And is it enough to clear this thing out? The Nexus does end up going down, which is huge. But everybody here dies. I don't know if that was worth the trade of 2 tanks, infinite number of Vultures, for effectively a couple, like one Nexus, and a Gateway. 176 to 154 supply. I mean, Rain is happily still on 4 bases, mind you. And he's replanting his 4th base there, too. Whereas Ample has not been able to expand behind this. He's still sitting on 3 bases. They do pick off an Observer, which is a minor win. Quick pause we don't have to experience. Heading down this left side, Ample trying to set up possibly to threaten this 3rd base of Rain's. I have cast a TVP on this map recently. It was not these players, though. Oh, that was the Morthada one. Morthada and Dark Shadow, which, if you haven't seen that one, it involves mind control in a pretty entertaining way. So maybe go check it out. That's all I'm saying. Morthada versus Dark Shadow. Dark Shadow, one word, I believe. All right, 200 to 186 supply. Ample is actually looking pretty good here. He's got +2 attack and +1 armor. +2 attack and +1 armor. Also down here for the Protoss. They're pretty even on those upgrades. Observer picked off by the Goliath. They do have the Charon boosters, as you need. Why would you not have the Charon boosters? I don't know. A couple Dragoons get caught out and destroyed by the mech army. And the tanks, see how this tank count? See how it's way too high? These Dragoons can't handle it. There's some stasis going down, but I don't think it's enough. Some storms, but the spread on the tanks is actually really, really good. You can't storm too many of them at the same time. However, more units coming down to reinforce. Rain just has that bigger army supply. He's going to wipe out the remaining tanks that are not stasis. Continue heading up to the north to deal with reinforcements as they come in before they get entrenched. Arbiter gets taken down. Zealous fighting in the front lines. Not a great place to be, man. They want to kill tanks, but otherwise everything else just murders them. Double storm on these tanks. Enough to kill them? Yes! Storm 1 and Storm 2. Ample trying to take a 4th base, but no, the Protoss army is here. Absolutely shutting him down right now. Tanks trying to deal with this, but Rain's up 141 to 121 supply. He's got enough Dragoons to handle these tanks. The tank count is only 2 in this location. These guys might come out of stasis eventually and cause some problems. As these guys did, actually. That's surprising. They might come back around and cause Rain a bit of a problem here. Oh, a lot of SCVs. Oh, the SCVs. What was that? What killed those SCVs? There were like 7 that went down at the same time there. Is there a Reaver I missed? Not that I saw, no. Yeah, man, Apple's trying to float a command center over here and retake his 4th, but I mean, Rain's got his 4th back. He's got his 5th running. He's just economically a monster right now, and that's how you have to beat Terran, is economically being a monster. High Templar thinking about doing a storm drop over here, or just a storm, but there was nothing to storm. Kind of a sad thing. Plus, he got killed by vultures, so extra sad for him. All right, Ample setting up, saying, oh, there's a base over here. I don't think he knew about this base. He would not try to run in there with vultures unless he knew. If he knew there were cannons there, right? Maybe just scouting to see what's up, if there's any new defenses present. What the heck is firing right now? Oh, here we go, drop. Arbiter drop inside the main, causing some problems here for Ample. Not really focus firing, which is one of my beefs with Protoss when they do this, is they don't usually focus fire important stuff. They're just like, whatever. Do whatever damage you can, but buildings have so much HP, it's hard to kill them before the response shows up. And I don't know if it's really been worth it here. They might kill the starport, but it's getting repaired. Or was getting repaired until the SCV stopped. But it's 166 to 113 supply. Rain has the lead. He effectively threw this drop away. Really didn't do much damage at all, mind you. And still, he's way up just because of the economy. Ample is mining from this minerals-only patch, which you'll notice that Rain is harvesting. Well, he's taking a minerals-only now, but he was only taking gas expansions for a while there. Did he do a second recall? What the heck is this? He did a second recall into Ample's main. Oh, trying to take down that science vessel. No armor, mind you. But that's okay. But actually taking down supply depots, not that Ample is going to worry about that. He has 200 available supply and 101 army, or 101 total supply that needs it. Yeah, man. Dragoon's out. 3 attack, 1 armor. Blah, not enough. Not enough versus these tanks that are rocking +3, +2. Wow, recall number 3 in this location. Rain is nothing if not persistent, y'all. Exceptionally persistent. Taking down tanks, taking down vultures here. Fighting through. I mean, this is just brutal, is what this is. Oh, boy. Ample, I don't know if he has enough to clean this up. Not that he's losing the ability to harvest resources with this. It's just an annoyance, really. And again, he's not supply blocked by it. He's losing supply depots, but he's not actually threatened with that. Where are the tanks? Here come the tanks. Their pathing is a little dumb, but they're on their way. They might actually clean this thing up. And it's 183 to 94 supply. He keeps wandering units in 2 or 3 at a time and losing them. These are trades that Rain is totally okay with making. He'll kill your tanks. He'll lose 5 or 6 Dragoons in the process. Zealot wanders up. Yeah, firing. Oh, gets taken out by another tank. And the third recall is cleaned up here inside the main. 178 to 94 supply. We're doing this again. We're just arbitering into the main base for all the livelong day. Killing these production facilities would be real nice. Not going to argue with that. But just going after supply depots, I guess. Which, again, I don't think is super important, but I guess in the long run, in the big scheme of things, it's going to work out. My goodness. Rain is just recalling like a beast into the main. Ample's been defending his main base for it feels like the last 5 or 6 minutes, which is forever in StarCraft. He's going to lose. Again, this command center is going to die, but I don't know that it really matters all that much. These need to die, but nope. Ample GG's out. He recognizes he's down big time in the grand scheme of things. He's out in 23 minutes and 9 seconds. He realized he couldn't defend, right? Could not defend these factories. He's going to lose that production. Sure, his mining was okay here and here and here, but Rain was on so many mining bases. 184 supply for him. He could just recall pretty much infinitely into the main, wipe out this production, and Ample did not have a way to replace it at all. So, yeah, this is how you do. This is how you do PvT if you want to win, is just have more production, have more bases, just way more income helps a lot. And then just flood. Play it like Zerg, I believe is what I said in the last game where this happened. Look at this other recall coming in too. Rain was not done. Not done at all. So great job by Rain, just overwhelming his opponent and getting the win here. Total score, 151 to 191,000. Yeah, man. Rain wins that one for sure. Ample produced more units, mostly vultures there, but lost way more. 130 more units than Rain lost overall, and structures raised 25 by Rain and 5 by Ample. Most of that in the top right drop, where he did wipe out Rain's base, but Rain had another one going. It wasn't a big deal, but this is the one. 46,000 spent to 57,000 spent. It's hard to win if you get outspent by 10,000 resources. That is so many units. That is so many tanks, so many vultures. That you ended up losing, and it's just brutal. Brutal overall. Blah, 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 blah. All right, good times. Good times here in StarCraft Brood War. And yeah, this is going to be it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like and subscription And that's going to be it from me. Catch me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon @/Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thanks for being here, and you take care of yourself.